So coming into a comfortable seat on your chair, look down at your feet, hip distance apart, parallel. We always say the second toe is parallel. Notice that the knees are right on top of the ankle joint. We're sitting up towards the top of our chair, so we're not kind of like lounging, having a nice little cup of coffee. we stack the feet, we stack the knees, we bring the hips out, and if you've got your mug, we'll settle here just to bring some warmth into the palms. A little bit of a self-massage through the upper trapezius, across the top of the shoulders, up and down the scalings, just to feel into how the neck and top of the shoulders feel. So we carry a lot of weight there. We don't really even recognize how much tension we have there until we really send the focus. So warm up what you can warm up, grab a lotion or whatever would feel good. Set the mug off to the side. And then let's bring our finger pads to the upper trapezius muscles. So behind the top of the shoulders, on top of the shoulder blades. And as you press into those finger pads, just maybe close the eyes. We have a lot of sensory perception in those finger pads. So as you draw them over, feel into the muscles that they ripple over. Bring it down to the collarbone. Take a couple taps there on your thymus gland. And then start again. And giving yourself permission here. So we want the head kind of back. We don't want to slump into this. Press into the muscles in the upper shoulders. Slowly draw them across the top of the shoulders. And again, just closing down the eyes and feeling into all the feels there. And a couple taps. So just a few minutes now to just kind of work in your neck. So maybe it feels good to make little circles with the finger pads. Again, taking it up the scalings, the side of the neck, behind the ears to the hairline, maybe through the hairline to the back of the skull. Just notice what's going on there. Warming up, bringing some blood circulation in. And then as you're ready, finally back at the chest, just for a couple of taps. Bringing the hands to rest lightly on the thighs. Again, thighs and feet hip distance. Allow the elbows to hang from the side body here, softening through the shoulders. The chin is parallel with your mat, closing down your eyes. And starting from the base of your chair here, your sit bones, can you feel them supported on the chair? As you draw up to the low back, the sacrum, can you draw the belly in towards the navel and up? So beginning to support that low back. As the breath travels, we come up the spine again to the top of the shoulders, maybe here. Pick up the shoulder tips to the ears and let them gently roll backwards. So you're almost squeezing through those shoulder blades, beginning to open up through the collarbone, the chest. Crown of the head stacks right over the shoulders stack right over the hips. And taking in a nice full deep breath. Just notice how you're arriving this morning. I know we all just leap out of bed, get into our yoga clothes or our good jammies and can't wait to hit the mat. Yeah, there are days, aren't there? Yeah, so just see where you are today. Begin to deepen the breath in through the nose, and maybe constrict a bit through the throat so you can hear it and center on it. And then let it go nice and slow. Let's take 3 more like that. See if you can really send the shoulder tips back as you squeeze in a little bit into those shoulder blades. The belly still is in, the face is soft. And maintaining all that height through the spine and the shoulder tips back. Draw in a full deep breath. And if you could draw a line with the tip of your nose straight down towards your thighs. Draw the chin in towards the throat. Shoulders are still back. The head is just not falling forward. Just beginning to feel some length maybe in the back of the neck. And pause for a breath or two here. And we'll check out a little range of motion. Again, this changes every day by the way you sleep, the way you hydrate, if you've had an injury, what the weather's like. So with that chin tucked in, we're just going to rotate nice and slow the chin like it was following the collarbone over towards that right shoulder. We'll slowly draw it back to center and over to the other side. And then back to center, and take it once more each side. And as you're rolling through the neck muscles here, notice what you notice. What's the range of motion on one side? What's the range of motion on the other? And finishing both sides, let the chin again just tuck in, shoulders squeeze back. And slowly bring the head back to neutral. Let's take the right arm out in front of us. The right arm up, stretching up, now long line all the way through the soft tissues under the arm. Good. Take a bend into the elbow. Bring the hand to the back, right between the shoulder blades. And as you arrive here, the tendency is to jut out the ribs. See if you can draw the ribs in, draw the belly in, and send the elbow up toward the ceiling. So not kind of out. See if you can draw it up. And if you need the use of the other hand, maybe it rests on top of the elbow. The head rests back into the bicep. We draw the belly in and just bring your focus from the elbow all the way down to the underarm, to the lats. Taking in a full deep breath here. And then release the arms back up to the ceiling and let them float slowly down. And as you float slowly down, send the palms away, spread through the fingers. So a little bit of activity through the wrist and the finger joints, and then slowly come back down. And we'll take it to the opposite side. So again, restack the spine, draw in the belly, left arm reaches. We find all the extension first. Then take the bend, bring the hand behind the back, the elbow towards the ceiling, knit in the ribs and the belly. And again, if you want that little bit of extra, draw the other hand up to the elbow. Squeeze the elbow into the head and the head into that bicep. So you're nice in that little box. Nice deep breath here. And then re-extend the arms back up. Find that reach, maybe find that, what do we call that? Climbing the rope. So each side gets a little more length as we relax the other side. And we'll return both arms now up towards the ceiling. Again, palms face each other, spread the fingers wide here. So really active. And make sure the wrist doesn't collapse in. So we want the fingers, the top of the wrist, the forearms, all in alignment. Taking in a full deep breath, we're going to open arm twist to the right. So reaching up on the inhale, draw the belly in. And as you rotate to the right, arms go right and left. So again, both feet planted. We're not changing out the knees, and we're reaching through the fingers. Let the palms go forward, thumbs are up. Taking in a full breath here, relax again through the shoulders. And then drop that back arm maybe to the back of the chair. The front arm comes across either to the outside of the thigh, or if it reaches to the edge of the chair, gentle now. In a chair, we tendency to hold on and really torque the back. So nice and gentle. We're only using the hands on the chair or the outer thigh just to encourage length in the back body. And we're just looking to the side, pressing both feet equally into the floor, taking in a full deep breath. And before we release the twist, let's take a little glance over that left shoulder. So leave the torso as it is, draw in the breath with the belly, and just take the head to gaze over the left shoulder. And maybe the eyes begin to angle up behind you on a diagonal. Easy breath in and easy breath out. Big inhale, let's reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Take again that movement where we stretch one like you're reaching for a blanket or something in the top of the closet. So find all the length without it constricting the breath. And then both arms extend up, bellies in, nice and easy. And let's open arm twist to the left. So arms go right and left, palms face the side wall, the thumbs are up, and the fingers are active. Nice twist through the torso. Just take a full deep breath in and a slow breath out. And then we'll draw ourselves into that spinal twist. So again, the hand to the outside of the left thigh, the back hand can come behind you to the back of the chair. Use that to find the length. Draw in the belly, soften the shoulders, and just a nice turn, torso towards the left. Easy breath. Before we release, bring the head back to neutral first. Let's take that gaze now over the right shoulder. Drop that right shoulder down behind you. Keep the chin parallel and see again if you can use the eye muscles to gaze up towards the ceiling on a diagonal. Easy breath here. Gently bringing the head back to neutral, release the body, draw the arms back up overhead. Reset again through the hip bones and the spine, reaching nice and tall. And then draw the arms out to the side. So we reach through the fingers, palms facing now the front of the room. Reach through those fingers, and then draw the right arm across the chest and hook it with the left elbow. So we draw the arm in, we lift that left elbow so it's at least the height of our shoulder. Then we squeeze the arm and just let it drop, dead weight, right arm, dead weight, resting in the cradle of the elbow. So as you draw in, maybe you feel the stretch on the outside of the right, excuse me, shoulder. You keep lifting that elbow up, keep letting the weight of the right arm just fall. And we'll take 2 breaths here. And maybe here, if you want a little 2 for 1 or 3 for 1, you roll through the wrist. And holding that right arm stationary as you roll through the wrist one way or the other, maybe you feel a little more activity in the back of that shoulder. Just again, take what you need. And then make that fist, draw the knuckles in towards the inner wrist, and then flare the fingers open. And we'll do that twice more. We'll make that fist and the knuckles will curl in, and then open back up. Last one. Draw it in, let the wrist fall. Nice stretch to that forearm and outer wrist. And then open back up. Take one more full breath, and we'll release, and we'll let those arms come back out to the side and down. Shoulder rolls, just release that, get it out of there, opposite way. So working into the front now of the shoulder tips, interlace the hands, palms up at the lap. So the thumbs are away from the pinky finger. We actually squeeze in those finger joints so that we can lengthen the fingers, find a little bit of strength into the wrist. Arriving here, the belly draws in. Inhale, the palms come up to the chest. Exhale, we're going to round. So round onto the tailbone, tuck in the chin, press those palms away. Find all that room in the back of the shoulder blades as the belly scoops in. Equal weight in the feet, don't lose the foundation. Inhale, let's raise the arms up, maybe biceps by the ear, doesn't matter. Just come to where you feel the stretch. Press the palms away again for the extension, and particularly we're working the underarms here, the soft tissue, the limbs, so stretch it up. And then slowly release it down, bring it behind you. So if you can clasp the fingers, that's fine. If you can't, just reach for the wrists or the forearms. But as you find the clasp, we want to send either the fist or the forearms down towards the tailbone and back out. And as soon as you begin to send the arms back away from the body, allow the chest to lift. Feel into the front of the shoulders. Take in a full deep breath. Head can be down in the chin. Head can rest back into the upper trapezius, just depends on your neck. Send it back one more time here. Open up. And then slowly release the palms, the fists, the wrists come back down towards the body and bring the hands around front. Interlace the opposite way, other thumb on top. Again, the same thing, the same stretch through the wrists and the fingers. Hands rest, palms up on the lap. Take a big inhale, lifting up here. Curling in here, press the palms away. See how much you can curl into the back body here. Scoop the belly in. And then open those arms to the ceiling. Reaching up here. Slowly float them back down. Last time, we'll interlace around the forearms or squeeze in the wrists. Full breath, send the fist down and away. If you're holding wrist, down and away. So big opening through the front of the shoulder tips. Play with the position of the head. Notice your breath. And then slowly we'll draw the fist or the forearms or the wrists back down towards the body. We'll release. Bring the top of the fingers to the top of the shoulders. The thumb's going to press right into the back of the shoulders. Draw the elbows up. Little circles here, any direction. We're going to take both. So number one, keep the elbows lifted. Number two, again, those fingertips give us so much information. What do you feel in the shoulder joint as you begin to make the circles a little bit larger? Notice if you're collapsing into your low back, draw in the belly, restack the spine, switch it out now. Little maybe going into bigger. And again, feel into whatever little crinkles, whatever you feel into those shoulders. Good. And then bring them back out. Make sure they're Elbows right in line with your shoulder tips. Good. Take a full breath in. Send the elbows back behind you. Open up the chest. And then we're going to draw the elbows in, elbows toward each other as we tuck in the neck. Reopen, see how wide you can go. And last time, tuck it in here. Find the roundness through the upper back. And then open up wide. And we'll release that. Again, take a couple shoulder rolls. So we're going to, if you have a block, and you may not even need it, I'm just going to put it in the center between my feet. Okay, you can't see my feet from this angle, but I'm going to heel toe them out so that they're a little bit wider than my hips. Good. Arms out to the side. We're going to take some eagle arms with a forward fold. So again, the blocks there. If eagle arms is not accessible, just cross the arms over and hold on to the back of the shoulders. A big opening through the back body here. Open up the arms. Reach through the fingers. And now right arm, just like what we just did, is going to come across, and left arm's going to come over. Crisscross at those elbows. You can double bind the wrist. You can hold the forearms tightly together, or again, take the option of the hands on the shoulders. Taking in a full breath, lift the elbows again as high as the shoulder tips. Send the hands away if you've got the double bind. And drawing in the belly, we're just going to take this, we're going to rotate upper body over to the right, leave the elbows up. So with these arms in eagle, opening through the back of the left shoulder, coming back around to center. Again, readjust, elbows up. It's easy to drop them. Take it left. Again, notice any opening now on the right back shoulder. And back to center. Stretch the fingers up towards the ceiling. Now maybe a little bit of an arch through the spine. And we're going to take a forward fold. So we're just going to just drop the body in between the thighs. The hands come down to that block or your mat. Let the head hang here. So we're going to use gravity and we're going to use breath. Let the head hang, let the shoulders round in, let them relax in, and just breathe into the back space behind the heart, in between the shoulders. Begin to soften the body, so maybe you feel the stretch through the spine, from the sit bones, low back, mid back, and upper back. Head hangs. Maybe here you shake it, yes, no. And drawing in 2 more full breaths. Lots of room for the body to fall right between the legs, right? And then slowly we're going to press into our feet. So engage through the feet, let the power draw up the legs as you lift the upper body. We'll take that arch one more time. So arms draw up to the ceiling, maybe the gaze, and then release and open up the arms. And again, find a little release here. And we'll switch to the other side. Each side's different. Arms extend out, reach through the fingers. Again, I always like to say thumbs away from the pinky fingers, thumbs pointing like back to the back room as you stretch through this whole upper body. This time, the left arm will cross over the body, the right arm on top. Find your bind. Again, hands to the shoulders, forearms together or wrist. Bring the elbows up to the height of the shoulders, the hands away from the face. Pausing there to draw in a deep breath, to draw in the belly. And this time, we're going to just take it over to the left. So keep the elbows up, opening up through the back of the right shoulder. And then we'll draw it back to center nice and slow. We'll take it over to the other side. And then slowly back to center. Lifting up the fingers towards the ceiling, a little bit of arch into the spine. And then we're just going to drop. So begin to roll onto the tailbone, rounding through the low back, the middle back, hands coming down to the mat or a block as the shoulders roll into the inner thighs. Head hangs. Lots of space here from shoulder tip to shoulder tip, shoulder blade to shoulder blade, maybe even a nice gentle stretch to the low back. One more full breath in. Then again, find your feet, find your foundation, press into the feet, begin to lift up, engage your core, elbows come up, fingers reach up, maybe that little bit of an arch in the spine. And then draw it back to neutral, open up the arms wide and settle them down. So again, just take a couple more rolls. We'll finish with two of my favorite poses. One is Guppy, and the other is the shoulder shrug. So you can walk the feet back. They can be touching. They can be hip distance apart. Again, set your sit bones down towards the end of your seat, restack through the spine. So we're going to take the shoulder tips up to the ears and draw them down. So squeezing like you had a ball in between the shoulder blades. Squeeze them back, which broadens again here through the chest. So lifting the chin any amount, we're going to take the bottom lip over the top. And as you do so, maybe close your eyes so you don't have to watch me do this. And as you do so, that bottom lip comes up and over, and we begin to feel a stretch in the front of the throat. So then open the mouth up, and just like that little guppy coming up for either food or some air, open and close. The more you lift up the bottom lip, the deeper the stretch. See if you can make it a little bit faster. And keeping the chin elevated, slow that down. Bring the right hand to rest right on your upper chest by the collarbone. This is from Sandy, our Florida Sandy. Press into the palm so that you are gripping onto the chest. And then with the chin staying up a little bit, drag the hand down. And then take that bottom lip up. And it doesn't have to go over the top lip now because you're bringing some weight into the stretch into the chest. Nice and slow. Feel into those muscles. Couple more. A really lovely pose. And then release the right hand back down, bring the head back to neutral. So the next pose is one of my favorites. I've taught it to Chris. He uses it a lot, particularly with his weight training. And again, this is bringing tension, we're normally not allowed to say that, into the shoulders as we raise them, and then we drop it. So as you sit up nice and tall, again, re-engage that belly in and up. Let the shoulders fall down. The hands can rest lightly on the thighs. As you take the inhale, everything draws in. Shoulder tips draw up. Now we're going to hold the breath here. Hold the breath. Squeeze, 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 and drop. Try it again. Big breath. Belly's in. Draw up the shoulder tips. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And drop. Twice more on your own. Just releasing all the tension. Coming back now, again, nice straight spine, belly is engaged. Let's bring the hands. So we want to touch all the finger pads. Bring the palms in together. Bring the thumbs into the sternum. So here we want the elbows and the wrists. So it looks like prayer pose. And it's actually a great stretch for the inner wrist. As you press the finger pads together, you begin to engage all the muscles into the hands. You begin, as you press the heels of the hands together, to engage the forearms. Now here, close down the eyes. As you press it all in, just like we just did, you've got the tension. Now release it. Let the finger pads lightly rest, the palms lightly rest. Again, we're not up at the heart level. We're just almost right at the breastbone where the ribs come together. Let the elbows go wide. Stretch the fingers apart from each other. And then drop the chin to the chest. So it's just a tuck in. It's not a forward fold. Weight of the head comes in. And here we just give a little bit of gratitude for finding time in our day to come internal, to see how we feel on the inside out. What do they say? It's not a work out, it's a work in. So honor yourself for finding the time. Honor yourself for honoring where yoga meets you. And today we meet Sherry. Taking in a full deep breath. Namaste.